So this helmet, the Canyon Disruptr CFR, it's been getting some attention lately, and if you're into cycling, you've probably seen it around. But what's the deal? Some say it's a big step forward, others think it's just overhyped. Is it really worth the fuss? Or just another gadget with too much hype? It's marketed as Canyon's do-it-all helmet for road and gravel, but there's more to it than that. The HighBar strap system claims to reduce wind noise and boost airflow. Could that make a real difference on your rides? Today, we're diving deep to see what it really delivers, and by the end, you'll know if this helmet belongs in your gear lineup. Let's find out. First things first, the fit. If a helmet doesn't fit well, nothing else matters, right? Canyon's trying something new with what they're calling the HighBar system. And honestly, it's not like anything else out there. You want something that feels snug, but not like it's choking you, and that's where this helmet's HighBar system comes in. Most helmets have that classic Y-shaped strap, right? You adjust it, fiddle with it, and hopefully get it snug under your chin. This helmet ditches all of that. Instead of those traditional straps, it's got this single strap that pivots around your ear, with a little ratchet dial at the bottom that you twist to adjust. It might sound a bit odd at first, and yeah, the first time or two, it feels different. But after a couple of rides, you barely notice it anymore. It's designed so you don't have to mess around with adjusting the side straps. It's all done with this simple ratchet knob near the chin. Super easy to use, especially if you're the type who doesn't want to spend time tweaking things every ride. Just twist and go. It's supposed to make sure your helmet fits as safely as possible. And let's be real, we all want something that fits well when we're out on the road. But there's one thing. Not everyone will like it. There's always a bit of personal preference when it comes to fit. And some folks might find it tricky to get that perfect snug but not too tight feeling. It might take a bit of trial and error to find the right fit. So, if you can, it's worth trying one on before dropping the cash. Now, let's be honest here. Looks do matter. I gotta mention the way it looks. Yeah, looks aren't everything when it comes to a helmet. But hey, we all care about how we look out there, right? The CFR has a pretty unique design, and let's just say it doesn't shy away from standing out. Well, it's got a bit of a bulky vibe compared to some of the sleeker models out there. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it just looks a little bigger on the head. If you're more about aesthetics, this might be something you notice. It comes in two colors, black and white. The black one is classic, and it doesn't show dirt as easily as the white would, especially if you're doing a lot of gravel rides. But the black version feels low-key, and there's a white one if that's more your style. It's not the most stylish helmet, but it's functional. If you're all about aesthetics, this one might not be at the top of your list. It's more about performance than looks, which brings us to... Alright, let's get into the real meat of it. How does this thing actually perform when you're out riding? One of the big selling points here is the ventilation. Canyon's gone all in on making sure your head stays cool, and it's obvious when you look at it. The front's got 5 big vents, plus a bunch on the sides and back, all designed to keep the air flowing, which is great when you're out there sweating. It's hard to quantify exactly, but Canyon claims this thing is about 8.5% cooler than some other helmets out there. That might not seem like a huge number, but I'll tell you, after a few long rides, you definitely notice it. On those hot summer days or during a tough climb, that airflow really makes a difference. Another cool thing? The helmet's HighBar system reduces wind noise. If you've ever been out on a windy day, you know how annoying that loud, constant whooshes can be. This helmet's supposed to cut down on that by about 6 to 7.5 decibels, which doesn't sound like much on paper, but out there on the road, it's noticeable. The ride feels quieter. You can hear more of what's going on around you. And the aero benefits, okay. Canyon's been pushing this as a performance helmet. If you're riding under 18 miles per hour, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference. But if you're pushing higher speeds, maybe doing around 24 miles per hour, there's a small gain. Canyon's talking about a few watts saved thanks to the HighBar system reducing drag. For most of us, it's not going to be a night and day difference. But for those really competitive fast riders, every little bit counts, right? It's definitely not the reason to buy the helmet, but it's there if you're looking for every possible edge. And of course we can't talk about a helmet without talking safety. The Disruptr CFR comes with a MIPS air node system, which helps reduce those rotational forces during an impact. It's kind of standard these days in higher-end helmets, but still, it's a nice reassurance knowing you've got that extra layer of protection if things go sideways. It also has this reflective material around the vents, which might seem like a small detail, but it can really help with visibility when you're riding in low light conditions. There's also a mount for a rear light. It's useful if you're riding at night or early in the morning. Here's the part that everyone's probably wondering about: the price. This thing costs around $280. That's a lot for a helmet. And you're right, it is. For most casual riders, dropping that kind of cash on a helmet might seem out of reach or unnecessary. But here's the thing: if you're riding a lot, if you're pushing for performance, or if you just want top-notch safety and comfort, it might be worth it. It's packed with features, it's comfortable once you get the fit right, and it's built to protect your noggin, which is the most important thing. At the end of the day, is the Canyon Disruptr CFR a revolution or just overhyped? It's a bit of both. Let's say it's somewhere in between. It's got a lot going for it: good ventilation, decent noise reduction, and a fit system that genuinely feels innovative. It's not going to magically make you faster or cooler, but it does what it promises. It's safe, it's comfortable, and it performs well, especially if you're riding hard. Sure, the look's a little bulkier than some might like, and it's definitely on the pricier side. If you're a performance-oriented rider and you've got the budget, it's worth considering. But it's all about what you value in a helmet. Alright, so that's a wrap. What do you think? Is the Canyon Disruptr CFR something you'd go for? Or would you stick with what you have? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips and reviews.